This is going to be interesting. I don't know, like I said at the start of the stream, I don't know how much Dignitas have been grinding, but I would guess they've not been grinding too hard. They're probably taking it easy for a bit before going really hard on the grind in the run-up to Worlds. Predictions for the Scrim? Don't really know, to be honest. I mean, Falcons just arrived in the UK yesterday, so they're playing at their bootcamp for the first time right now. This is going to be the first time. Whereas Dignitas probably haven't been grinding as much as Falcons have, but they're at home. They're in their comfortable setup. So it's a really tough one to predict, actually. Still nobody replied to Jack. England is decent, I guess. Because I honestly feel quite bad that no one replied to it. Everybody just ignored him. I know that question wasn't aimed at me. Scotland better? In many ways it is. In some ways it's not. It depends. I'm not biased. Well, let me just make a scuffed score. I'm not going to use the big overlay for this because this isn't that serious. It's just a scrim. So we'll put this down the bottom here. And the overlay, okay, the in-game overlay was broken there, but it looks like it's fine now. Let's get into game 1, Falcons versus Dignitas. I'll just put this at the side of the screen. Yeah, somebody asked me earlier, what's my predictions? I honestly have no idea, but after game 1, we'll probably have a good idea who's going to be the favorite here. It all depends on how quickly Falcons can adapt to their new setup. Oh, sorry, game audio. I was so focused on making a scuffed overlay, I forgot about the game audio. Thanks, guys. We're on TRK POV right now. We'll probably just stay on his POV for the whole game. Then we'll switch it up. We'll go one different POV every game. See just how quickly Falcons can adapt to their bootcamp setup that they just arrived at. Dignitas Jack, who just scored, is feeling pretty unwell. Apparently, he's sorry, I gotta skip the replay. He's yeah, he's been pretty sick, but get well soon, Jack. Good that he's able to play today. We won the BDS Falcons. You can check the VOD from yesterday if you want to find that out. It was a really good set of games between the two. Now, one thing to quickly mention is that there's been a lot of talk about, and rightly so, there's been a lot of talk about Falcons playing their debut international LAN as a full squad. This is the first time that their starting roster will ever play. This is the first time that any Middle East team will play with their full starting roster at an international LAN. Now, of course, with Senzo at the fall major, they were, the next best thing from a starting roster. You had an absolutely top-tier world-class player in Senzo step in and perform extremely well. But there's still a ton of talk about how well will Falcons do in an international event, since it is going to be the first time that we see them. But they, nice little goal stealer by Jarius. But they have been playing a lot of, LANs in Saudi Arabia. So I don't think that adapting to a new setup will be too difficult for them. I think they're going to be quite good at adapting to different situations. It does always take a little bit of time though, as you always see with international events, any LAN events really. Teams generally start off looking pretty rough, and then as the event goes on, you get better and better gameplay throughout. Yeah, we're on TRK POV, you can see that in the bottom left. We'll switch to somebody else in the second game. It looks like, at the moment, Jack is going to get the first win against the guy he's been calling out forever. What a save there by Jack with the pre-jump. Man boomed that one on net. Hell, looking for top corner. And Jorius, his all-time nemesis, says no. Yeah, Dignitas are... I think they're going to be good for Worlds, really. They didn't have a good split, but they finished off pretty respectably, I'd say. And I'm expecting them to be... I'm expecting them to make it through wildcard if they end up in wildcard. I think it's likely that they're going to end up in wildcard, isn't it? I can't remember off the top of my head how many points Endpoint need to accumulate in order to surpass Dignitas in the overall standings. But also, in order for Dignitas to make it into Worlds directly, they would probably need 4 EU teams to be in the auto bids spots, which is possible, but at the moment South America has the edge over EU's ranked 4 team. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see if Dignitas are at the main event or at wildcard. Personally, I think it might favor Dignitas to play through the wildcard, just to get that momentum going, because obviously the spring split was not good for them. So it would probably be a good thing to go through the wildcard for them and a couple of other teams as well. Yeah, you know, EU and NA teams are going to be favorites in the wildcard. I think everybody's expecting all EU and NA teams in the World's wildcard. There will be 3 of each no matter what. Everybody's expecting them all to make it in. Well, I'm deciding to play the ball here. Probably sideball double. I thought he might be going for the bump on that. Aren't Dignitas the best scrim team in the world? I don't think so. I think they're a good scrim team, but I've not heard that they're, you know, the best. I think the best scrim team in LA was G2 from what I heard. They beat everybody except Endpoint, and then Endpoint lost to everybody else. But you can't, you know, you can't always just look at who's winning scrims and expect that to directly translate to events. Because Furia were doing really well in scrims before the fall major, and they just lost out 1-3 in Swiss. And then when it came to what do you call it? When it came to Winter Major, I think Furia's scrim record wasn't as good, and they did much better. So it doesn't always directly translate, but it is an indication, I think, of how well teams are performing. Yeah, like I was saying, I think Dignitas are going to be good for Worlds. It might even benefit them, funnily enough, that they've had their slump now rather than at Worlds itself. I mean, if they had their slump at, let's say, the Spring Major, then you're going to go into Worlds with 0 confidence. But they had their slump at the Winter Major. Nice. I'm at scores with 1 second left. Yeah, they had their slump at the Winter Major. So that kind of chalked their Spring split a little bit, same as NRG. But now they can kind of take a little break and then start hard grinding for Worlds. They're still a great team. I mean, these players are ridiculous across the board. They're all very talented individuals. So I think they're going to be a threat. It's good to see that they are scrimming versus Spring Major teams. I think there's quite a few teams actually in Europe who are doing that. Even teams who aren't in the running for Worlds are scrimming, just taking the practice. Yeah, this is live. This is the first. That was the first game Falcons played at their bootcamp. It looks like they suck on bootcamp. Looks like they're actually just trash. They just skipped the bootcamp. World's Wildcard is a 16-team event that will happen immediately before the Worlds event itself. It will be a 16-team tournament. 3 teams from Europe, 3 teams from North America, 2 teams from the Middle East, 2 teams from South America, 2 teams from Oceania, 2 teams from Asia Pacific, and 2 teams from Sub-Saharan Africa as well. That is the regional breakdown of the World's Wildcard event. Okay, Jory isn't ready up here. I was making sure it wasn't me. Now, which teams from, let's say, Europe and North America actually go there, whether it's EU's 4, 5, and 6 in the standings, or whether it's EU's 5, 6, and 7, depends on how well the EU teams at the London Major do. If EU crush the London Major, we're probably going to get, I think it's Evil Geniuses, or is it? No, it's Semper. I think we're going to get Semper at World's Wildcard. Yeah, we'll go on Appjack's POV here for game 2. Yeah, if EU don't do well at the London Major, if they just have an average London Major, it's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, Carmine Corp, Endpoint, and oh, who else is it? I should really know this off the top of my head, but I've forgotten. So BDS are number 1, Moist are number 2, Dignitas are right now number 3, but that is subject to change. It could be Endpoint. And then it's not Liquid. Is it EG? No, it's not EG, is it? I think Semper are ahead of EG. Wait, are Semper number 6? Semper might be number 6. I might have got this wrong. Is it Semper? I think it might be. It's not Vitality, no. It's Carmine Corp are going to be in there. Semper 6. The Dignitas are going to be 4, probably. And Semper is going to be 6, Carmine Corp 5. So if EU don't have a good London Major, it'll probably be Dignitas in the wildcard. I'm going to go pull up the Wikipedia page, actually. I'm quite curious, now that I've started this topic, quite curious to see how many points Endpoint need to pass. Oh, they already have passed Dig. What am I talking about? They've already passed it. Okay. So Dignitas are actually relying on a good major for EU. The way that Dignitas get into Worlds directly without wildcard is if 4 EU teams are in the top 8 and both Furia, Falcons and all the OCE teams are not in the top 8. That would, I think, put Dignitas straight into Worlds without having to do the wildcard. But, you know, on the others, well, one of the other options is if there's only 3 EU teams in the top 8 at London and Furia is in there as well, then Furia will actually go straight to Worlds ahead of Dignitas. They'll take Dignitas' spot away from them. And also get another spot at the wildcard for their region because they wouldn't be taking it up themselves. So it's quite interesting. You know, we've got a real, I'd say 4-horse race for that last Worlds spot. It's pretty locked in that 4 North American teams are going to be there. I say pretty locked in because if, you know, 2 North American teams are eliminated before the top 8 and then Falcons make a super deep run, Furia get top 8 and 4 EU teams get top 8, then I think NA number 4 could also be out at the hands of Furia and Falcons. But it's pretty likely that NA will have 4 seeds for the auto-qualified spots at Worlds. And the team that benefit from that are actually Complexity, the former South American team. So it's pretty cool. We're very likely to get Complexity at the World Championship through the wildcard, of course. But if none of this makes sense to you, don't worry. When you tune into the broadcasts for the London Major, it will all be gradually broken down, series by series, round by round, and it will become a lot more apparent who the teams are that are fighting for those major spots and who's clearly eliminated already. Yeah, Dignitas, Complexity, Semper, all hoping for the region to do well. And when I say Complexity hoping for the region to do well, I mean NA. Complexity want NA to do really well. I think NRG want NA to do really well. Pretty much if you're, whatever region you're in, you want your region to do really well at London because it helps you. The teams who are really on the edge of their seat are Semper, Complexity, O1 Esports in MENA, the club in South America, even Renegades back home in Oceania. They've got an extremely interesting scenario that I've talked about quite a few times on my stream already, but for anyone who hasn't heard it, Renegades need Power to lose in the first round of the lower bracket. Power is the former Grind Zero roster. They got picked up by Power, the OCE organization. So Renegades need that to happen. They need Power to go out, or they need Pioneers, the mechanical OCE team of Banana Head, Super Lucky, or Super Lucky as they call him, and Scrub, to not make top 8. So Renegades are hoping that their region do badly. They're the only team who actually want their region to do really badly. But if neither of those things happen, if Power make top 12 and Pioneers make top 8, then suddenly Renegades want Pioneers to do as well as possible, because it's going to be very, very interesting for Renegades. I think CJ is going to do a viewing party. He's going to be the biggest flip-flop fan of like Pioneers, depending on how well they do, which will be very interesting to see. He'll go from rooting against them to rooting for them even more. That's why I love this format. There's so many different scenarios. Wait, did Scrub miss that, or was he? I think he might have been somewhat blocked by, I think it was Khaled there. The Falcons are not qualified for World's main event. No, they're currently in the wild card. They need to get, well, the lowest position that can send Falcons straight to the top 8 at Worlds instead of the wild card. Like the worst possible finish that Falcons can have, which would still put them into the top 8 auto-qualified teams at Worlds, is top 8 at London. But that would also rely on a couple of other things happening, namely Furia not being top 8, I think also Pioneers not being top 8, Power not being top 8, so no OCE teams, no South American teams allowed, Team Secret as well. So all you need is Falcons top 8, no OCE, no SAM teams, and no more than 3 EU teams in the top 8. If all of those things happen, Falcons are going to Worlds, which is actually, it's a feasible scenario. because Falcons might end up on the same side of the bracket as Furia and just be able to eliminate them themselves, which would be incredibly hype, by the way. Imagine lower bracket round 2, Falcons versus Furia, winner gets Worlds auto-qualified. And an extra spot for the region. Like, that would be so much on the line. And they get to play in front of a crowd. Wow. I don't think we'd ever have seen a matchup with so many different things on the line. Extra spot for your region, playing in front of a crowd at an international major, and auto-qualify for Worlds yourself. And it's all in one best of 5 series. Ridiculous. Absolutely. It could be so hype. So it looks like Falcons needed a bit of a warm-up game there. Now they've settled into the bootcamp setup. Dignitas only lost that second game by 1 goal though, so they look very solid. I think out of all the teams that Falcons could face, Dignitas are one of the ones that will hold up, I think, quite well. Dignitas are very mechanical, of course, and teams that do struggle against Falcons are teams that are slower mechanically. We've seen Falcons trash OCE teams many times in, well, Rettle's tournament and as well in the Fall Split Major. And those were not close series, not close games at all, because I think the mechanical disadvantage was just too much. But it makes me think, or makes me wonder if Pioneers will have a better shot at Falcons than Power did. Or I think, did Renegades play them in Rettle's tournament at the Fall Major? I can't remember if they did. Oh, great clear there by Khaled. In fact, if he had that a bit more softly, he might have been able to catch up to it, but he wanted to make sure of the save, I'm sure. No, I've not had a chance to tune into Fierce King of the Hill. I've been super busy today. I didn't think I was going to have time for a stream today at all, or else I would have told you about it when I streamed yesterday. But I was able to sneak one in. I've just finished everything I had to do, and I'm live for 1 hour, and then I've got to go. So, yeah, pretty busy today. This back and forth camera is much better. Yeah, I just put it on director for this game because we were quite out of the game in other runs. If you guys want a particular POV, we could do that next game, though. Thought I'd switch it up a little bit here. Yeah, Falcons and Dignitas do have a lot in common. They like being fast, love solo plays. So, Jory's POV, Ahmad POV, Khaled POV. Yeah, you gotta get. Okay, maybe we're gonna need to go back to POVs if you guys really want POVs. Alright, we'll do a Khaled POV for the rest of this game. How about that? We'll finish off second half of the game on Khaled POV. Mostly third man for Falcons. I'm going to London on Monday night, so I'm arriving late Monday. I'll do Jaria's next game. Oh, that's a good read by Jack. I think he probably just shot this. Let's see if we can find Jack. Oh no, he went for a double. That's very interesting. Sorry for watching the replay, but I had to know, Jack. Had to know what you were doing there. The safe little half flip kickoff there from Khaled. Still able to get forward into the midfield quickly. So no problem. I didn't see the Scrub do a safe one as well. Gotta give credit where it's due. So I'll call teams out so many times whenever they don't do that. Let me catch up with some subs very quickly. Thanks to Little Zach for the 500 bits. Did all the Falcons get the okay this time? Yeah, they're all in the UK. I mean, check the ping. They're all 28 ping. They're on bootcamp. So they're in the UK. They're here. Melon Farmer RL, thanks to the 18-month Prime, he says, do you think the winner of the Spring Major is automatically the favourite to win Worlds? I don't think automatically. It really depends who wins. I think if BDS or G2, Moist, I think if any of those 3 teams win the Spring Major, they're going to be the favourites for Worlds. But I think if any other team wins, they're not going to be the favourite. They're going to be one of the favourites. Even FaZe. I don't think FaZe have been dominant enough to just straight up become the favourite if they win this major. Very nice pass there by Khaled. As Ahmad ties the game. And yeah, it does depend on how they win as well. That's true. It definitely depends on how they win the major. If it's a close win, you know, if FaZe is absolutely dominated, or if Falcons dominated, if Liquid dominate, actually Liquid aren't at Worlds, bad example. But yeah, if Falcons or FaZe or some other team, Furia, just crush everybody, then okay, maybe they're the favorite. But if they just, you know, win through close series after close series, then you can't just call them the favorite, because Falcons, it would have been the only LAN that we've seen them play in with these 3 players. You know, FaZe have been pretty consistently second or third best throughout the season. It's only now that they're the second best team in NA, without question. So I don't think FaZe are probably the most interesting team. So I think they're somewhere between the big three. I mean, the BDS, Moist, G2 trifecta. It seems to be the three teams that everybody has as the favorites of the entire event, and I also agree. I think they're the three favorites. But I think FaZe are next. I think they're probably fourth. With Falcons coming in fifth for me. The only reason I say that Falcons are fifth, ahead of like the other NA teams like V1 and SSG, ahead of teams like Furia, the OCE teams, the other EU teams, is because they just have such a strong record this season in Saudi Arabian lands, and in the past 2 years they've done so well in Saudi Arabian lands, and that's against the exact same teams that they play online. It's not like they show up to lands and beat teams that are at a lower level and they're used to playing online. It's the same teams, and they beat them online, they beat them on LAN, so it shows that they're definitely a LAN team. They're definitely a team who can take their online success and produce it on LAN events. You know, whether or not it's international, there's an obvious correlation in the Middle East and in Saudi Arabia with Falcons online and LAN performances. So yeah, that's why I put them at number 5 favorite. If FaZe hadn't won the most recent NA event, I'd probably put Falcons number 4. But FaZe winning the most recent NA event over G2, beating G2 2 times in that tournament, I think just gives them the edge for top 4. It's very close though. I think Falcons FaZe are close 4 or 5. Even Liquid I think are in the mix, because Liquid have perfect swept Moist this split. They're extremely mechanical, and there's 2 different ways I think that Liquid could approach this tournament. They might just go in and have, you know, a lot of pressure on them because it's their last event of the season and their first LAN. They really want to prove to the world that they are at that level, so they might put a ton of pressure on themselves and be nervous. But another way that they might take it is just, oh well, we don't have to play for Worlds, we're just here to have fun and learn. That would be the right mentality in my opinion. I hope that's the mentality that Team Liquid take into this event. Not at all that they shouldn't take the games seriously. Obviously they should care and they should try and go for the wins, but I would rather see Team Liquid just taking the pressure off themselves, no expectations, just have fun. Like, if their main objectives are to have fun and to learn, that would be ideal, I think. And maybe third objective to win. I'm not even joking, because you gotta enjoy these experiences. They don't have Worlds to play for. A lot of other teams need they need a particular result in order to secure a good seed for them at Worlds and to secure more spots for the region, and that, that's more pressure. It just is. So that's why Team Liquid are a bit of an anomaly as well. Probably the hardest team to predict. Who knows how much pressure they're going to put on themselves? Are they going to be nervous like they are in EU qualifiers for regionals? Are they going to be just chilling and vibing? Who knows? We're going to find out very soon though. Eric Ramgren, thanks to the 25-month Prime. We're on Joria's POV. Yes, indeed. Freakishly Quiet, thanks to the 3-month Prime. He says, how do you keep track of all the wildcard scenarios in your head? Well, it was partly... I was involved in the theory crafting process to come up with that whole system. So whenever whenever you're involved in something like that, I think you just naturally pay very close attention to it throughout the season. Because... 1, it's interesting to me. 2, I want to see, is it working, so it can maybe be refined in the future, or changed, or who knows. We'll see what next season brings. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing to me, so I'm naturally following them anyway as a fan of the game. But it's also really important. This is going to be the major for World scenarios. This London event is going to be all about scenarios. It's going to be all about the OCE teams trying to bring Renegades to Worlds with them, get another spot for their region at Worlds. Falcons trying to bring O1 esports to Worlds with them. Furia trying to bring the club, and then EU trying to bring Semper along. NA trying to bring... It's everybody, not just the teams at the event, but the teams back home as well, are all part of the discussion. There's never been more to talk about with an international event. So I'm trying to keep up to date with all of those different things, so I don't have to then go look it up on the day that the games happen. I just know it. That's the idea, at least. Thank you to Big Plate Crow. Thanks for the 2-month Prime. See you in London. I hope so. Hope so. Danger Dawson 07. Thanks to the 4-month Tier 1. Yeah, great matchup so far. Falcons looking pretty solid now after a shaky start. This looks like it might be Dignitas who need to step it up here if they're going to be able to take more games. Mordak 615, thanks to the 18-month Prime. And I think I've said thanks to everybody, but I think I already said thanks to you, but hey, double thank you, I guess. If I missed you, just let me know in my chat. Just at me in the Twitch chat. I promise you it wasn't personal if I did. Joria's 360s. Yeah, Joria's just trying to keep the mechanics warm. Nice little outplay there by Scrub. 1-2 pass with Jack. Yeah, Scrub knew that all he had to do was get the ball over the last defender. No need to worry about shooting this. Now Joria's turning upfield here after half flipping the other way. Can Joria's half flip both ways? Surely Joria's can half flip both ways. I know there are some pro players who can't half flip in both directions, which blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. What doesn't blow my mind is Khaled's just 50-50 the ball and it sets up a goal. That is something I have seen many times before. What do I mean by that? I mean that when you're half flipping on a controller, you'll see what Joria's did there. He turned one way and then he half flipped to his, well, to the right. He half flipped to the right over his shoulder. Now I think he can half flip both ways because that was actually a mirror of what he did on the previous kickoff. So that would indicate that he can half flip that way and that way. You know, he could do what you can call a 5 o'clock half flip, where you put your controller to the 5 o'clock position and then you just double tap jump, and when your car's upside down, throw the joystick to 12 and you'll perfectly half flip, but slightly to the right side. Your car will roll over in that direction, and when you do land, you're not landing straight, you're kind of landing at an angle. Same thing applies when you put your joystick to 7 o'clock and then again double tap jump. When your car is fully upside down, throw the joystick to 12 o'clock and your car will roll over and you'll face the other way. Not complete direct half flip like you would get if you use directional air roll or a keyboard and mouse half flip, but it is still slightly, well, it's not too far off center. Yeah, I'm not going to call anyone out, but there are some pros who can't half flip both ways. Every time they half flip slightly to the right or slightly to the left, and it's what is Shorty is doing? What is Shorty doing? It looks like somebody came into his room and started complaining, or he's disconnected or something. Oh, he's lagging. Oh yeah, he's lagging bad actually. Oh dear, this isn't good for Jari. This is bad news. We're gonna stay on board with him though, see what exactly is happening. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we have to switch. We'll switch to Ahmad because Jarius doesn't have ball cam on. Joris DC'd 1 sec. Oh, if only they should have asked me to make the lobby, I could have paused it. Since it's scrims, it doesn't really matter. They're just going to go for a fresh start probably, or they might just allow a goal for an overtime. Never mind, TRK doesn't allow goals. Yeah, Scrub tried to score, TRK not having it. Yeah, Falcons look pretty good here. I think Dignitas definitely don't look at their best, which isn't surprising. I don't think they've been grinding super hard. I think they're kind of taking it easy before the... Well, I think they're probably taking it easy in the run-up to the Major, and then in the month run-up to Worlds, I believe they're going to be grinding very hard. Take it easy at every event. Well, I mean, Dignitas aren't playing at the London Major, so they're probably taking it easy right now. It's good to take breaks, even if you're not... I mean, they're scrimming right now, so they're clearly not on a break, but there are different levels of practice. You could be scrimming 5 times a day, you could be scrimming 3 times a day, you might just do one a day, you might just do 3 a week, who knows? I don't know what their practice regimen is right now, but what I do know is that if I were them, I would probably take a... take a bit of time off, then have a lighter scrim schedule, and then really ramp it up for Worlds. Yeah, Nick is the Dignitas coach, right? Everyone is asking. Sedate Me, thanks for the brand new Prime. Welcome to the channel. Is there a scrim after this as well? There won't be a scrim on my channel. After this, I'm going to need to go. So as soon as this 1 hour block is over, I'm going to need to go straight away because I've got to head out. But tomorrow I'll be back at the same time as I started today. So I started today 5 p.m. UK time, which was 37 minutes ago. I'll be live same time tomorrow for more Falcons scrims and also some 1v1 show matches. So should be good. Looking forward to it. Anyway, we finished off that game on Ahmad POV. We'll just start this game on Ahmad POV. We can go scrub for the next one. We are going to get at least one game with everybody's POV here. At least, well, we got half a game of Khaled, but we could maybe do another one of him, another half. Yeah, tomorrow will most likely be my last stream before I go to London. Don't think I'll have time on Monday to do one before I go. So I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow, and then I'll see you at the Rocket League channel. Probably on Rizzo's channel at some point as well, because he's doing his view party again. So I'll most likely make a cameo appearance there. I'm flying to London. Yeah, every time... I've never got the train to London before. I've got the train as far as Birmingham. I've never got the train to London. Because flying is just really convenient. It's very close. The airport's very close to me, and then London City Airport is very close to Stratford, where we're going to end up, so... Yeah, flying makes the most sense. Saves a lot of time. I really hope that there's no complications at the airport though, because recently I've been seeing problems at airports throughout the UK. I don't know if this is happening in other countries as well, but there are problems where there just it seems like there just aren't enough employees at the airports, and you know, security takes forever. What do you call it? Passport control takes forever. What do you guys know why that is? Did they just like all go on strike or something? Or did people just start quitting their jobs working at airports? Yeah, it's causing luggage problems. I'm actually like low-key worried about losing luggage. Worker strike. Okay. Makes sense. Because yeah, a lot of people have been saying they've had luggage problems. Metsonoris lost his luggage. I feel like every single Rocket League event that's ever happened, somebody loses their luggage. It's never been me. I don't want to jinx it. But maybe I just take a carry-on and a bag for underneath my chair. Maybe I'm supposed to do that. And just make sure that I don't lose my luggage. It's going to be tough though, because I've got to pack for quite a long time, quite a few days. You know, if the worst came to the worst though, you know, if I had luggage, I mean, mostly what I pack in my, every time I do an event for a Rocket League LAN, mostly what I pack in my check bag is like the suits and shirts and whatever else I'm going to wear on show days. Plus like, you know, stuff that I wouldn't be completely devastated if I lost. I'd pack all my like essentials and stuff I really can't lose in my carry-on every time. I'd very much advise you guys, if you're going to travel with a check bag, put all of your essentials, put a couple changes of clothes, put lots of changes of underwear, and anything that you really don't want to lose, put that in your carry-on bag, because if you lose it, you're going to be very sad. And there's nothing worse. I've had I've heard from a few Rocket League people that they lost their check bag and that had like all their underwear in it, and I'm like, oh no, oh no, you just have to go shopping, you know, immediately. So if you have one pair of jeans though, a few t-shirts and just a bunch of changes of underwear, you're good for like as many days as you've packed, I guess. It doesn't take up a lot of space, so just carry it on. Surely a goal here for Dignitas. Somehow not a goal. Okay, Falcons are holding on. They are forcing extra touches there. It really looked like Dignitas had them in a rough spot with boosts and positioning. But yeah, there are clothing stores everywhere. You know, that's why I'm saying I usually just like check my work clothes, because if I lost it, well, you don't usually lose things. You almost never lose things permanently. It's mostly just you lose it for a couple of weeks or a few days, or I should say a couple of days or a week or something, and then they get it back. But yeah, I could just like head over to Westfield, buy some shirts and backup clothes to wear on broadcast and look shabby. Hey, it doesn't matter. You're there to commentate the games, not to look good on camera, right? Dignitas have had so much pressure. They do get a goal. It feels like it's been coming this game. They've only got 3 shots out of this, but they've basically lived in the Falcons half for the past couple of minutes. It's Onyx thanks to the 25 month actually, and a tier 2 as well. And Uptown Rabbit thanks to the brand new Prime. Welcome to the channel. Is the currency the same for Scotland? Yes, for the most part, except in Scotland you can also pay for things with bottles, cans, containers of iron brew. Oh, what a bump. Wow. Huge play by Ahmad. So, you know, if you don't have any cash on you or you don't have a card, you can just give like a can of iron brew as an exchange item. And they are accepted everywhere, so it's another option. Opinion on iron brew? Ooh. Iron brew. I think it's yeah, it's good. I like it, but I don't drink a lot of as we call it fizzy juice, as you guys call it soda. Yeah, we don't drink. I don't drink a lot of fizzy juice. I just drink water. And coffee. And wine. Oh! What a shot, and also what a save. What is it with Ahmad and these last second saves, by the way? He's managing his boost very well here. Making sure to have enough to challenge multiple shots, even though he's still got 15 boost. This is great boost management by Ahmad. Knowing that he's not going to have time in that entire back and forth to grab a big boost, so he just managed what he had very, very carefully. This is something that's underrated about Ahmad. Everybody just calls him the fastest player, which might somewhat be my fault, so I'll take the blame there. But he is very fast. One of the reasons he's very fast is because he manages his boost extremely well, and he uses his momentum to save boost. Because if you think about it, if you're moving supersonic, you don't need to boost to accelerate. You're already at top speed. If you're, you know, maintaining a lot of your speed on landings by power sliding, the way that Ahmad does every time he's landing. Great positioning there by Scrub, hiding in the near post away from the demo, by the way. But yeah, if you're maintaining a lot of speed, then again, you don't need to use boost to accelerate because you've maintained all your speed on landings. So it's something a lot of players are getting very good at these days, but Ahmad's been very good at this for a long, long time. And that's why he, you know, was, I think, the fastest player by a fair margin during RLCS Season X. Just watching him play looked like a different game. Because his landings were so good, his boost management was exceptional. He was just very good at being supersonic when other players might be moving along at slower speeds. That enabled him to just save boost, because you don't need to accelerate if you're already supersonic. You don't need to boost if you're already supersonic. Well, there is a range. I have to make a little note there. There is a range of supersonic speed in Rocket League. That's why sometimes when you are supersonic speed, you get caught up by someone else. Somebody drives up behind you and demos you, and you're probably thinking, what? I was supersonic. How did he catch me? Well, it's because there's like a 100 unreal units. Is it unreal unit per second? I can't remember what the actual metric is. But there's a 100 unreal unit, I think, per second range. And that all counts as supersonic. So that's why you sometimes see players, if they're hunting for a demo, they feather boost because they want to make sure that they're going, like, they just feather a little bit of boost because they want to make sure that they're going at that upper end of supersonic, especially if they're turning every now and then. Because every time you turn, you lose a touch of speed. Well, you can lose a touch of speed, I should say, not always, depending on the smoothness. So yeah, there is a range in supersonic speed of Rocket League, in Rocket League. Okay, so I said we're probably going to have time to do one game of everybody's POV, but that's only if this actually finishes in time. Good job by Ahmad to play this around. Actually passing, kind of back passing to himself by using the corner wall. Didn't want to get dunked on, of course, as the last man in the play. Pre-jump save by Joris before that, keeping digging it. So this is a step up from Dignitas. I think they've livened up now, and oh my. Oh! Yeah, I think it's a guarantee. Ahmad is going to get the best clip of the tournament in terms of saves. He's going to get the best clip of the tournament when it comes to goals. What a monster. He goes underneath the initial challenge, takes off at the same time to set up the double, delays his dodge to pre-flip into a rebound. That is insane. But hey, This is what we've come to expect from the GOAT of the Middle East region. And, you know, I say that because Ahmad has been around forever. Absolutely forever. He's been doing this. He's been dominating this region for 4 years. He's the Garrett G of Middle East. He's a Kyle TG1 of Middle East. He's a Realize of Middle East. Not sure who I'd put in there for EU. EU's less clear. Maybe Turbo. But he left. He went to NA. K-Dop. even K-Dop and Turbo don't have the current, you know, form to claim the GOAT status for the region that, well, at least in this way that Ahmad, Kaio, until recently Garrett and Realize all have, to be consistently on one of the absolute best teams in your region for multiple years and still be blowing people's minds. It's crazy. By the way, not me, thanks to the 13-month Prime, and also OK Jordan, thanks to the 4-month Prime. It's Onyx, thanks to the 25-month. Alright, we might have time for 2 more here. We'll have to wait and see how long this one goes. If it's another overtime, then I might have to dip after this, because I've got to go. We'll see. Uh-oh. Okay, Jari's is in. Right, we'll watch Scrub kill a POV for this one. He's the only player we've not been on board with for an entire game. Until recently, what happened? Well, I'd still say Garrett G is... I think he's still on one of the absolute best teams in his region. But there certainly seems to be a gap. Certainly seems to be a gap. A bigger gap than there ever has been. I mean, the current gap between Garrett G's team and the best team in North America is bigger than it ever has been, if you think about it. He's always been top 2 or 3 teams, and now he's probably 5/6. So the gap is wider than it ever has been. Will it close again? I think so. I think he will get back onto a top 3 team. I think NRG could be the top, could be that team. We'll have to wait and see what happens at the World Championship. But when it comes to players like Ahmad, players like Kaio in South America, players like Realize, they have been, you know, top 2 teams. They've been on, well, in Ahmad's case, he's been on the best team in his region for 4 years. In Kaio's case, he's, you know, pretty much been top 2. At times, there have been 2 teams who would outperform him, but I still think that if everybody power ranked his team, they'd put him top 2, 3, let's say. And Realize has been top 2 teams for Japan ever since he came onto the scene. Yeah, Garrett definitely deserves to be alongside them in that conversation as the most consistently dominant player in his region. Who was it that said that every time... Was it Jack on First Touch? I think he said that every time Scrub Killer is... Oh, that's not the play, Scrub! Every time Scrub's wall dashing, he calls it. He says wall dash, wall dash, wall dash, wall dash. He just says it every time he does it. So he got the demo, but then the ball just hits him and goes in. Skip. Sorry, Scrub. Had to see it again. Sorry. Ah, dear. He probably should have... I guess he should have pre-turned there. There was... Yeah, there was definitely momentum on the ball coming towards him there. That he might have been able to see coming. Oh, Scrub though! He's put one in both goals. 1-1. Was that Ahmad in goal for this? We'll never know. Well, we actually will. You can watch the VOD. Oh wait, is he saying wow because I skipped his goal? But I didn't skip his own goal? I thought you said... Sorry, Scrub. I thought you said skip, so... I would have watched it again, but I realized I was the only one watching it, so I skipped it. I wanted to watch it. I'll be honest. I wanted to watch that. Hitting Ahmad. I think Ahmad was a net for it, wasn't he? Scrub hitting him with a bit of his own medicine. Shall I watch this goal to annoy Scrub? Everybody's watching it somehow. I won't watch. Don't skip it. No, I'm not going to watch. I feel like that would be bad etiquette. You know, when you're streaming scrims, I feel like you should just skip every time that... well, let's not say every time. The vast majority of the time that everybody skips the replay, you should probably skip it as well. Now, if it's an own goal or something funny or an incredible goal, you're probably going to be off the hook for watching it, but I try and skip the vast majority when I'm streaming scrims. Yeah, Falcons looking pretty good here. I think Dignitas did step up. That game where Joriz was lagging, I didn't realize he might have been lagging the entire time. I can't tell. Because he was playing a bit weirdly, but it might have just been one of those games. I mean, sometimes even if you're a pro player, you just have those games where you can't find boost anywhere, and you just drive around the pitch, not really doing anything. Happens to everybody. And it seemed like one of those games for Jarius where he just wasn't ever able to get into a good rotation where boost is constantly in front of him. But yeah, then later on he did lag in DC, so maybe it was just lag the entire time. I'm not sure. But definitely Falcons look very good. This is the first scrim that they played on their bootcamp facility. Even though it is against a regularly inactive Dignitas, they are still playing very well, scoring some big mechanical goals. I was about to say always forcing that one extra shot, but that save took the words right out of my mouth. They're always forcing one extra shot every single time. What happened here? Where did Ahmad come from? Oh, he just read it a long time before anyone else and saw both players on the backboard, placed it under them. Really nice placement by Ahmad. Yeah, Falcons looking good. The solo play's looking good. The positioning's looking good. The defense looking very difficult to crack. So this is good to see. Good to see that they can adapt that quickly to a new facility. They're going to be scrimming a lot in the next few days. I'm going to be streaming some of their scrims, probably just one of their scrims, maybe two. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow. So we'll get another little look at them. But obviously it's just one scrim and it's against a relatively inactive Dignitas, who I think are just getting back into... I don't actually know how much Dignitas have been scrimming, so maybe I shouldn't say that, but as far as I'm aware, they've not been scrimming too much. They've been taking it easy before going on the grind big time in the run up to Worlds. Ask Ahmad for his settings. No, I will not. Did TRK just watch the replay of him stealing someone's goal there? Is that him? Is he the one watching that? I think he was. It's a very nice first touch by Scrub, but he accidentally double jumps instead of dodging, I believe. At least I have to think that he would have tried to dodge the ball to pass there. Just cast all Falcons games. I've got to go right after this one, so I can't, but I would love to. Unfortunately, I'm just a bit busy because I've got London coming up, and I've got to... I would have streamed earlier today, but I was busy, and then I've got to go out immediately after this. Tomorrow I'll be live though, for longer. Maybe 3 or 4 hour stream, we'll have to wait and see. For now though, it looks like we're going to get one last game. Dignitas took game 1, Falcons have taken another. They're saying GG's. They're going to call it because they don't want to run all the way up until the next hour. GG's. Falcons looking very good.